It's currently the evening of October the 28th. I think it's 11:30ish p.m. And I've just decided that I'm going to do Nanowrimo this year. Which is a little bit stupid. More than a little bit stupid. For those that don't know, Nanowrimo stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it's where people attempt to write a full novel, 60,000 words at least, in the month of November. I have tried it one time. It didn't work. I tried it, I believe, in 2015, and I got about 5,000 words in and just stopped. So obviously hoping that doesn't happen this year. You know, I've set the bar quite low, so hopefully this year I can rise above it, because, you know, we're in a pandemic, I don't have a job, I've just graduated, I'm a lowly arts film degree graduate, so obviously there's no jobs for me. I need to go and retrain, don't I, get a proper job. Thanks Rishi for that. So I have plenty of time to write a novel and be a useless member of society and just dabble in the arts. So I thought I would do that this year. What am I writing? It's a good question, isn't it? It's such a bad idea, although I've already joined a Discord server, so it's a bit late to turn back. I joined a Discord server run by the lovely Jean Mingus, who has a wonderful booktube channel that I've been following for years, so I'm low-key quite excited to be part of the Discord server. I was a bit like, oh, like this little cool circle of people that I've low-key looked up to for a very long time. So yeah, it's just a little server for like moral support and stuff, and low-key I might be a bit too shy to actually say anything. Let's hope not. Let's make some friends. But yeah, since I failed catastrophically last year at Nanowrimo, not last year, 5 years ago at Nanowrimo, hopefully this Discord server, this little support group will keep me going and motivate me to not embarrass myself this year. So what am I going to write? So a couple of years ago, I made a video called My Love-Hate Relationship with Writing, and that video is meant to be like chapter one in a series of writing videos that I would ideally continue to make. And then I made chapter 2, which was looking back at my old writing, and then I never made any more because I'm the worst. But in that first video where I talked about my love-hate relationship with writing, I talked about a novel that I'd kind of been tinkering with for a very long time, and it's a YA novel, and it's kind of the YA novel that I wanted to read when I was 17. So when I was 17, I was very unhappy as a person. I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, shades of depression. I had a lot going on with my family, I had a lot going on with my friends. I was very stressed at school. I was at a very academically focused school. And in all the novels and the films I was watching at the time, all of the coming of age narratives were like people falling in love for the first time, going to prom, doing crazy road trips, really finding out who you are and having these like huge transformational experiences. And that just wasn't where I was at that time, and it almost made me think, wait, you know, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not having these big realizations? Why am I not having these big experiences? Why do I have to miss out? You know, what have I done wrong, essentially? And I think what I could have done with that at that time was a novel that was like, hey, maybe the teenage years aren't the best years of your life. You know, you're really unhappy right now, and that's okay, and maybe the best is yet to come. I remember watching Dazed and Confused for the first time, and there's that bit where they're all on the football field, I think, and one of the characters says, if in the next couple of decades I say that my teenage years were the best time of my life, I want you to fucking shoot me. I remember really identifying with that. I was so unhappy when I was a teen, and then I was faced with all this media and all these people telling me that this was the best time of my life and to really enjoy it, and I was like, no, it's not. I'm so upset right now, and if this is the best time, that's the wrong thing to tell me because I'm so unhappy. And so I really wanted a novel or some piece of media that would just reach out and be like, hey, yeah, being a teenager can suck, and no, you're not owed all of these amazing experiences, and to be honest, not a lot of people have them, you know, and that's okay, and that's fine. So that's what I set out to write, was this novel that was very introspective, very loose in terms of plot, much more character driven, much more stream of consciousness, almost kind of lyrical prose, and that's what I envisaged. And I laid out the first couple of chapters and never got any further. So that's maybe what I'm thinking of picking up for Nanowrimo 2020. And yeah, I'm quite excited to get into it. I've literally not looked at it for years, so I'm a little bit nervous. I know I have at least 2,000 words of it down, so I'll have a little bit of a head start. That won't last me very long. So yeah, I guess my first step is to read those 2,000 words. It's probably all shit, so I might delete them, maybe start afresh, and yeah, we'll see how we go. It's currently 11:05 on Monday the 2nd of November. And I've not really written anything for Nano so far. This was definitely a terrible idea. So yesterday on the 1st, I input that I'd written 1,700 words because that is how much I had in the draft, the one that I left abandoned years ago. So technically there is 1,700 words written, they're just not new words that I've written in 2020 NaNoWriMo. And I actually haven't looked at this folder for a while. I have a folder for this project, and within that folder is a hell of a lot of crap that I'm probably going to spend the first few days of Nano sorting through, rewriting, deleting, instead of actually writing anything new. So it's a little bit stressful because I'm not writing at the minute, and obviously that's the point of NaNoWrimo, is just to churn out as much as you possibly can and then, you know, edit later. But I need to spend the first couple of days, I think, just organising what's already there, because unfortunately I'm not kind of starting with a blank canvas and can just sit and write. I'm starting with the bare bones of a project. I have to kind of pick through and decide what am I keeping, where am I jumping off from, what bit am I actually focusing on. And I've not looked at this project in years, and I'm a little bit nervous that it's going to be complete trash. Oh, I dedicated it to my grandma. That's sweet. She passed away a couple of years ago. On page 1, I am pleased to report that there is a Lizzie McGuire reference, so I have not changed in the 3 years since I wrote this at all. So in this folder for this project that I have, I've got the initial draft that I did that was in first person, and that just wasn't working for me. It felt very introspective, it felt really stale. It felt like I was just regurgitating entries from my teenage journal. It didn't feel like a story, it didn't feel like a narrative. So in order to try and combat that problem, I started a new draft, which was a third person rewrite, so changing all of the I's to, you know, she and whatever, and that kind of made it come alive a bit more. It felt more like I was telling a story rather than just reliving my teenage trauma. And then there's another folder which just says bits and pieces, which is when I don't feel like writing chronological order and I want to write a random section that's just occurred to me, I will go into the bits and pieces document and just bang it out there, and then later on I can decide where I want to put it or if I want to put it anywhere. And then there's a fourth document which is the middle section of the book, which I intend to be diary entries. So the first section takes place in winter, and that's a third person narrative voice. The middle section takes place in spring, and that's told through our main character's diary entries. And then the last section is summer, which switches back to the third person narrative voice. So I have 4 documents open in front of me, so I'll obviously be transferring stuff from the first person draft, editing it into the third person rewrite, and then looking through the bits and pieces folder, deciding what I want to keep. And then I guess I can keep the diary entries for later on, because that's only going in the middle section, so I don't really need to deal with that right now. So that's currently where my head's at, is just organising these folders, and yeah, hopefully I'll have some more juicy writing to actually report a bit further on in the month.
Into your eyes, I see we're out of time. I guess no one's to blame, nobody crossed the line. I guess we couldn't see, somehow we couldn't feel. Maybe we rose too fast, maybe we got too high.
It is the 3rd of November, and lucky for me, I actually stayed up a bit last night until like 3 a.m. and did some writing and logged it on my NaNoWrimo account. So technically for today I've done some writing, not as much as I needed to. But at least I've done some, because I am not going to be getting any more done, because hey, it's the US election and I am so anxious, and like 2016 I'm going to be staying up because I know I can't sleep, and I've been in my pajamas all day, I've been trying to self-care, whatever. I'm just so anxious. They've just called the first result from Indiana, which was obviously pro-Trump, and I know that it's too early to say anything, but oh man, I'm big anxious. And also because like they said that they might not know for a few weeks yet because of all the mail-in voting. I just hope we know something tonight and it's not fucking Trump, so then I can get my peace of mind back and maybe do some more writing on my Nano project. But I will keep you updated on how that goes.
In South Dakota, Trump is the winner there. Let's take a look at the Electoral College map, where it stands right now. Biden has 80 Electoral College votes. Trump has 51. You need 270 to be elected president of the United States. Let's go back to John King. John, I'm really anxious to take a look at Georgia right now, see where things stand in Georgia. Update our viewers.
So we're looking at Georgia 2020 right here. A healthy lead for the president right now, 322,000 votes, 58 to 40. A little more than a third of the estimated vote in. Democrats thought this was a state where they could be competitive. There are two Senate races at play here. One could be settled tonight, one likely to go to a runoff. We'll see how those play out as well. But that's what makes this state even more important. You have a presidential race. The balance of power in the Senate could also hinge on those two races in Georgia. So you have to go back. So you do the hypotheticals now, the Biden campaign, and you're banking on that. You're banking on the data, and you like your lead in Arizona, and you think you're going to get that. So then you're looking around. And again, Minnesota is a state, we're not there yet, but you think you're going to keep that. I don't think I've ever been past 11 o'clock on a presidential election night, having not called the state of Rhode Island. That's Connecticut. We'll come back in there. It's a little small. My fingers don't quite get in there. I started my career in Rhode Island, and I never thought we'd get past 11 o'clock before we call it. It's just that's the year we're in. But we expect that goes down.
So it is now 6 a.m. and I'll go to bed. I don't know if I'll sleep because it's very close, and I'm actually real shocked at how close it is. I thought it would be a bit more of a clear victory for Biden, just because of Trump's handling of Corona and because of everything else about Trump and how disgusting he is and what a horrible man he is. And I'm a little bit anxious that it's getting so close and there's so much at stake. And at first it was exciting. I was getting really into like the coverage because all of the early votes were obviously trending blue for Biden, but as more of the election day votes came in, they started to head towards Trump, and that made me kind of sad. And so I'm gonna go to bed now, and I have no idea what I'm waking up to, so we'll see. Well, if I even get to sleep, that is. So oof. I just woke up. Michigan just went blue by 0.1%, and they still got 10% to go. I am so stressed. It's 1 o'clock. We still don't know. Bloody hell. This is taking years off of my life, I swear. Oh wow, my mirror is really gross. I'll move over here. It didn't help. Okay. It's the 5th? No, it's not. It's the 4th of November. I'm still stuck in this election hell. And it's so quintessential of how the last 4 years have been. It's like the last 4 years, the whole world has been like holding its breath because Trump is in the White House and anything can happen. And it's usually the worst, and the worst always happens. And we have the chance, well, America has the chance to put an end to that and let the whole world finally let out a breath, and we can take our eye off US politics for a while because, we'll be confident that the person in the White House isn't about to nuke Korea for some reason. But, it's just now so drawn out, and it's just so quintessential of how the last 4 years have gone, just the most painful possible outcome, and just having to wait and wait and wait. It is just so torturous. So I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that I'll be chained to the CNN live stream all day. I'm probably not going to get any writing done until I have some better idea of what's happening. I'm stressed. And this is like low-key turning into like a political commentary vlog when it was supposed to be a writing vlog, and so I apologise about that, but I'm very politically conscious, so if I didn't vlog about this, I just wouldn't have any content for this period of Nano, so just keeping you updated on what's happening, and fingers crossed that we vote him out. Well, not we, America votes him out. It is far too close for my liking, and the Democrats have to have a serious conversation about why it's so close, especially after all of Trump's failings with the handling of the virus. It shouldn't have been a landslide. I didn't think it was going to be a landslide, but I didn't think it would be in any world this bloody close. So anyway, political rant over for the day, and I'll check in with you when I've either done some writing or I know who's the president, so we'll see. So technically it's past midnight, so it's now Sunday the 8th, but the day that has just passed is Saturday the 7th, when Joe Biden won the presidency of the United States, and that racist, orange, sexist husk of a human will be cast out where he belongs and hopefully will end up in prison somewhere. I couldn't care less where he ends up. Just want him out of politics and unable to have any sway on anyone's life ever. So literally I had the CNN live stream on since Tuesday night. I went to sleep listening to it. I woke up, it was still on, like obsessively had it on in the background. On Saturday, I decided I needed to take a break. I was going to have a little self-care bath. My mum had got me some bath bombs for my birthday. I picked one, I went into the bath. I was in there for about 5 minutes, having a lovely old time. Then I get a text from my boyfriend saying, it's over. And then obviously I check the news and Biden has won Pennsylvania, and I missed the key moment that I've been waiting for about 5 days, just in my little election cave. You know, I literally didn't get dressed or eat properly or sleep properly for like 4 days, and the one moment where I was like, I can take a break, it's fine, that's the moment that he decides to win. The audacity, the audacity. But I'm out of my bath, my hair is curly and freshly washed, I smell like a bath bomb. A racist is no longer in office. Well, technically he is till January, but for argument's sake, he's been voted out. And now calm has returned to the universe, and I can maybe return to my Nanowrimo novel. So obviously the last couple of days I didn't really do any writing in my election haze, but I've still been updating my word count because, like I kind of outlined in the beginning of this video, or maybe I didn't, I can't actually remember what I said in this video. But I have a lot of writing and a lot of stuff that I had written bits and pieces of years ago, so I've basically just been inputting that into my current document, and that's why my word count has been going up, but I've not actually been writing. But all of my old stuff has now been input. I now don't have any other old writing to kind of fluff up my document. I now just have to go straight ahead and just write, which is obviously what Nanowrimo is all about. So today I wrote 621 words, which is obviously under the daily count that you're supposed to hit. But my total word count on my document is 8,390. And if I look at my little stats page, I'm currently at 8,390 words, and I should be at 11,669, which I'm not. So obviously in the next couple of days and next couple of weeks, this is a long haul, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I should be writing either on par, the 1,600 I need a day, or slightly over. But you know, I'm not trailing behind it, I'm feeling pretty okay. Some of the stuff that I've put in from years ago is not good and needs edited, but obviously Nanowrimo is not the time for editing or rewriting. I'm just whacking it in as a placeholder, writing around it, and then see where I get to, and at the end of Nanowrimo I can reassess and obviously see what I need to go back into, what doesn't quite work, and all of that stuff. It can all be shuffled around at a later date. For now it's just getting it in place, structuring it and writing around it, and obviously trying to get to 50,000 words. So now that the election's over, we can return to normal programming and I can write and be free. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Also, I just finished reading Saltwater by Jessica Andrews, which is the first book I finished this month, and we're a week in, so not been reading as much as I want to, but I've got to forgive myself. It's been the election week that's just taken up all of my time. So, and I can't work out if this was the best possible book I could have read before doing NaNoWriMo or the worst. I really enjoyed it. It's about this girl Lucy, who is from kind of northern working class background, and then she goes to London for university, and it's kind of about class and getting eaten up in the big city and feeling alone and losing your sense of self and wondering what that is. And it has a lot of flashbacks to when she was a teenager, to when she was a child, and a lot of kind of vignettes of like her family story, so what's happening with her brother, her mother, her auntie, her dad. There's a lot of focus on family and memory and trauma and it all blurring together. It's a very non-linear story. It jumps around everywhere. But this is low-key the style of writing I wish I could do. It's very beautiful, very poetic. It's all about memory and the specifics of memory and what sticks out to us and what we want, and it's intimate and it's emotional and it's raw and it's honest, and this is how I kind of want to write my novel, which is not about the same themes. Obviously this focuses on like a university age person and is kind of about, you know, her family and relationships, whereas my novel that I want to write is a YA novel that's firmly set in high school in the last year of sixth form, and it's about friendship and like academic stress and kind of figuring out what you want to be at that age. So some of the themes cross over about like identity and sense of self, and definitely friendship and kind of core memories, I guess. And this is either going to be very motivating and it's going to be like floating around in my head and sparking ideas off for my writing, or it's going to demotivate me because I know I can never write as well as this. Hello. We're on the floor because that's where I belong. We've hit a wall. We've hit a wall in Nanowrimo, and it's the 17th. Well, it's past midnight, so it's the 18th. But today was the 17th of November, which obviously is over halfway through the month. So I should be over halfway, so I should be between about, over 25k, around maybe 30k. I'm not. I'm currently on just under 16k, so I'm like 10,000 words away from where I should be, which is obviously not great. I've hit the wall that I always hit with this bloody novel, and it's that it's just too me. Because there's one school of kind of writing advice which is write what you know, and that's very much what I'm doing. Everything that I'm writing is very much based on my own experience, my own feelings, my own thoughts, my own emotional, I don't know, whatever. Can't even think of the words. That's good for a writing vlog, isn't it? But I remember when Again But Better came out, which is a novel by Christine Riccio, who is a booktuber, a very popular booktuber. She was kind of one of the founders of booktube, I guess. She's been here for a long time. I never really watched her channel, but obviously when her book was coming out I heard about it, and a lot of people in the booktube community read it, and the main criticism of that book was that the main character in that book was just a kind of self-insert version of Christine. She liked all the same shows that Christine did, she had the same mannerisms, even like was described to look like her and things like that. And people in the book community come down very hard on the self-insert trope, and for good reason. You know, it's like a lack of imagination to just insert yourself into a book instead of actually creating a new character, and I get that. And so I don't want to do that. I don't want to just write fan fiction about myself, and I don't want to just write like an autobiography of me, because who gives a shit, you know? And so this is what I struggle with, because a lot of authors that I love, a lot of books or films or whatever, things that I really connect with, are things based on real experiences, or you can see that that person has a real voice. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but for example, watching the film Lady Bird, I mean, you don't get the sense that it's a documentary, but you get the sense that whoever made it, you know, Greta Gerwig, she has a lot of heart and soul and a lot of emotions and a lot of experiences, and a lot of truth went into that film. It's not necessarily a true story, it's not necessarily based on her life, but it has true elements and it comes from her heart. And that's essentially what I'm trying to bridge. I'm trying to have a balance between it being all about me and it just being inspired by things that I've felt and things that I've experienced. No. I don't know. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. And here's the thing, so I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and also my best friend B, and I was just saying, like, what do I do, you know, like, and they were both saying, well, you can kind of keep it based on stuff that you've done, and you know, but you can add in elements to like fictionalize it, you know, create new characters or new scenarios that are obviously not real, that didn't actually happen, and that's fine. But I guess I'm writing, past tense was a bit wishful thinking there. I'm writing this novel to be like an anti-romanticization of youth and teenage years. It's meant to be, it's not like a condemnation of romanticization, because I love books that romanticize the teenage life. I love films that romanticize the teenage life, and I get affected by them. I just wanted, like I said in the beginning of this vlog, the book that I wanted when I was 17, which was like a kind of honest account of, hey, your teenage years aren't always the best years, and it's okay if you don't experience everything now. That's fine. And when writing a book like that, it is kind of hard to come up with fictionalized things to spice it up and make it less like real life, when the actual point of it is that it is like real life. But then I don't want it to just be a fucking biography of me, because who would read that? So I'm in a bit of a rut, if you can't already tell. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I just thought I would update, because I've not really been, I'm just logging into my Nanowrimo account now. I've not been updating my word count, and you can backdate on Nanowrimo. You can be really cheeky and like backdate and change the date so that you don't lose your streak. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to be honest about the fact that I've been in a rut, because that's the journey, you know? And when I look back at my graph at the end of this, I'm going to see a little line in the middle, a little plateau, and hopefully I will see myself have risen above the plateau. That's the idea. Anyway, I don't know. I think tomorrow I'm going to go on a little autumn walk to kind of, you know, breathe in the last bits of autumn before winter like settles in, and maybe, you know, the fresh air will inspire me or whatever, and I'll have some more writing to report on in the next couple of days, so we'll see.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire.
November's finished, and oh, bloody hell, I always knock this, don't I? So November is finished, and unfortunately I don't have any party poppers. Well, if I did, I wouldn't be using them, would I? Because I've failed. So yeah, I didn't complete Nanowrimo 2020. I didn't even get half. So at the end of Nanowrimo 2020, my final word count is 19,325. So not great. Not even halfway. Halfway would be 25,000, and I'm about 6,000 away from that. So listen. If I look back on it, not only was November just in a pandemic in general, like we were going through a pandemic through the month of November, there was also election hell week, which I chronicled in the beginning of this vlog. And I don't want to make excuses for myself, but to be honest, someone like me who is a serial procrastinator, like I know myself, I will do everything in my power to delay and delay and delay. It's kind of surprising that I did anything at all. This is such a bad example. I'm just like patting myself on the back for like the bare minimum. But to be honest, when I wrote my dissertation, I didn't write it in that way that Nanowrimo encourages you to write. Like, I don't think my writing style meshes with the setup of like, that's stupid. I mean, no one's writing style meshes with Nanowrimo. That's the point. Like, Nanowrimo is a challenge and you have to write a novel in a month. That's not how people usually write. But what I found when I write mostly essays, because it's been years since I've written anything but essays, I do all of my research like I spend months not having written anything. I know a lot of people that did like a very rough first draft, like the bare skeleton, and then would like research some more, fill in some bits, research some more, write some more, research some more, and just kind of gradually fleshed it out. I can't work like that when it's an essay. I know fiction is a little bit different, but what my process was that I would do all of the research. I would do like my initial batch of research, have a very rough structure, more research, and like do a more detailed plan. And I would plan. So I literally had like a paragraph by paragraph plan of like what I was gonna say, what quote was I gonna use to back it up, type thing. And then I would just write it all in one go, often in like the space of a week, just very stressed, very tired, bang all out. But then because of that long planning process, it just barely needed any editing. It was just like a grammar and sentence structure check, and then it was done. So I kind of write it all in one without going back in and editing the actual content itself. And I know I can't really do that for fiction. That's not really how fiction works, because you don't have like a research process. But what I think happens with me with fiction is that just ideas percolate for months and months and months, and then I'll have one like flash of inspiration and I'll sit down and write, and then I won't touch it for months, which is kind of why this project has just been sitting for years, which is why I wanted to use Nano to actually push myself to do some work on it. And I did. It's like a little bit of a chunk. It's 40% of a novel, and it's alright. And to be honest, like again, not to pat myself on the back, but I would prefer kind of quality over quantity. I wouldn't have wanted to have got to the 50k word mark if I just had to delete a bunch of it because it was crap, you know? So I feel like what I have is okay. I might think differently. I probably will think differently when I look at it again in a year or something. But But yeah, what I wrote, it's alright, it's alright. I'm gonna read a little paragraph just as like a way to end this video and be like, ah yes, the fruits of my labour. Here they are. So this is one little paragraph from what might I have not decided yet, from what's either going to be a diary entry or like in just the main text of the novel. I don't know yet, it's a mess. But anyway, here it is, and obviously it's not polished, so don't rip me apart in the comments. And you know, constructive feedback would be appreciated, but be wary, this was probably written at like 3 AM in a Nanowrimo haze, so don't judge me too harshly. I look around my room. The drawers of my desk are filled with empty notebooks, empty sketchbooks. Usually the binding at the front is torn, the string exposed and fraying, a signifier that I started one page and then violently tore it out when I deemed it not up to par. There's a sewing machine growing dusty under my desk, roller skates bought on a whim and abandoned in a corner, the helmet worn once and still shiny. Even on my bookcase, a rosette from horse riding clings pathetically to the aging wood, a reminder of a girl long past. A girl who loved to ride until a nasty fall had her vowing never to go back. I still think of the horse I used to ride, sleek and sympathetic, with gentle brown eyes. I wonder if he noticed when I stopped coming. My room is full of relics, a museum of forgotten hobbies, a festival of girls I could have been. The artistic girl, filling endless notebooks and sewing her own clothes. The confident girl, skating in and out of dreams, her laughter ringing in your ears long after she's passed. These relics lie still, as if at the heart of a shipwreck, a story never told and lost to time. Maybe I could be kinder to myself. Maybe I could argue that these were simply different coats I tried on in a desperate effort to finally find the one that fit, that sits snugly around the shoulders and spins from my waist. But I haven't found that perfect coat yet, and the clock is ticking, and winter is on its way. I feel so awkward. Anyway, that was a little snippet of what I've been doing for the last 30 days, 31 days, 30 days, for the last 30 days. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little vlog. But yeah, if you did NaNoWriMo, please let me know how far you got, how you're feeling about what you wrote, and yeah, just chat to me in the comments. And if you didn't do NaNoWriMo, would you consider doing it next year? What are your thoughts? Just chat to me, and I will see you soon with another video soon. Bye.